Well, thank you, Dennis and Sustainable Silicon Valley for having me for this wet talk. Today, I'm joining you all virtually to talk about a very exciting and new development in the operator space, particularly around an operator certificate program for on-site non-potable water systems. Um, you may be asking yourself, what is an on-site non-potable water system? These types of systems are in place in buildings primarily, but can also service many neighborhoods and districts. And they work to capture alternate water sources that are produced on site for non-potable end uses. So this schematic just shows at a very high level the types of water sources that can be collected within a building, including sources such as rainwater and stormwater, which is precipitation hitting the rooftops and at grade, as well as nuisance groundwater or foundation drainage that's historically pumped to the sewer from dewatering operations, gray water, black water, and condensate. So all of these water sources can be captured and treated and reused on site to help buildings and the urban environment ultimately reduce potable water use for non-potable end uses, such as toilet flushing, irrigation, cooling tower makeup, drain trap priming, clothes washing, and a whole other array of non-potable uses. Definitely, we've seen, certainly from San Francisco's experience, as we've had a on-site water recycling program in San Francisco since 2012 that certified operators and training specific to on-site non-potable water system operators is very, very important to ensure the success of the operations of these systems, as well as ensuring that the systems are being operated to protect public health. Communities across the country, not just San Francisco, but places like Austin, Washington State, and Denver all have a very clear need for certified operators and training for operators. And really, our experience suggests that without trained operators, it can lead to prolonged system downtime and ongoing operational and maintenance issues that cause additional costs and burden for the property owner that is ultimately responsible for the system. We see a need for this training and certificate program really because there isn't one that currently exists for on-site non-potable water systems. That really cover the skill-specific knowledge and real-life experiences that are needed for this specific application. It can take years for states to develop statewide certification programs, and there's a need now. So again, for communities such as California and Austin that are set to adopt regulations for on-site non-potable water reuse, this lack of certified operators presents a major hurdle to securing operational capacity for these types of systems. And I think what we're really hoping to do is enable a broader candidate pool of operators to really expand what people are currently relying on, which is existing water or wastewater treatment operators, to really expand that pool so there's additional opportunities for folks to become certified in this area. We also see that the need for this training because the technologies that are involved in treating water on site for non-potable use span both water and wastewater technologies. So you could have UV disinfection, but you also have biological treatment. We have chlorine disinfection, and you also have other types of processes that are traditional to wastewater treatment. So really, it's a unique blend of skills that are needed for operating these systems that take from both the water and the wastewater field. So to fill this need, San Francisco Public Utilities Commission, on behalf of the National Blue Ribbon Commission for On-Site Non-Potable Water Systems, has partnered with a number of partners, including Water Reuse Association, Water Professionals International, Trussell Technologies, and WEF to develop a operator training and certificate exam program specifically for on-site non-potable water systems. The goal of this program is really to have national applicability. And in order to have national applicability, we spent time recruiting a diverse group of subject matter experts who will really be, who are the ones responsible for defining what knowledge operators need to know. So those subject matter experts included folks from the operator community, regulators, vendors, designers, utilities, and academics. And the ultimate goal that's going to come out of this is really entry-level exams for operators of rainwater and stormwater and condensate systems, and a separate exam for operators of gray water and black water systems. Speaking from San Francisco's experience, typically building maintenance staff or maybe stationary engineers in buildings have taken on the responsibility of operating rainwater, stormwater, and condensate systems. So that's the type of workforce group that is being targeted for those types of for the specific exam. And gray water and black water for San Francisco requires more advanced training in terms of actually having wastewater treatment license or water treatment license. But this is definitely supplemental training specific to gray water and black water systems. Another thing to note about the exam is that the minimum education that will be required to sit for the exam is a high school GED. So it won't be requiring hands-on experience in order to sit for the training. I'm sorry, in order to sit for this exam. But the training is intended to teach the operators the knowledge needed to operate a system, and that the exam will test to the learning objectives from the training. This is a slide just to give a really overview snapshot of what the need to know criteria are. It's kind of an industry term, but essentially the need to know criteria are what operators need to know in order to safely operate an on-site reuse system. So that big group of subject matter experts that I referenced earlier were really the group that helped define these 12 categories. And get into very specific detail about all of the different topics that are required for operators to know. So again, the need to know criteria range from anything like roles and responsibilities of an operator to learning about the goals of treatment, process control, various different types of treatment technologies and how to operate them, and also touching on chemical storage, handling and feeding, as well as basics of collection, distribution, and storage. So next steps in terms of where the certificate training and exam is going. We are currently in the training material and exam question development phase. The need to know criteria has been fully fleshed out and finalized. So the next step is engaging with Trussell Technologies, who will be developing a training manual that will ultimately be expanding upon the concepts from the need to know criteria. And then from that training manual, we'll be developing the actual questions that will be tested on the exam. It's anticipated that the publication of the training and exam will be in the summer of 2023. And we anticipate that many of the states and communities that participate in the National Blue Ribbon Commission will adopt the operator certificate program, perhaps not as the sole requirement for operators, but as a supplemental requirement or educational component for operators. And additionally, we're very, very much interested in engaging with workforce development organizations like Bayworks, AWWA, and others to invite participation in the training and the exam. So that's that's all I got for the operator training program, and I'm sure Dennis can share my contact information if folks are interested in learning more. Thanks.